The typhoon took everything in 1998. I was 9 when the roof of our little house in Naha peeled off like the lid of a sardine can. My father never came home from the fishing boat. The bank took what was left. Mama stood in the rain with me pressed against her leg and said, "We have nothing now, Akari. Nothing." Then she boarded a plane to Tokyo with a man who wore leather shoes and never looked back. For 19 years that sentence lived in my mouth like a bitter seed. We have nothing now. I grew up in my uncle's storage room above the auto shop, smelling of gasoline and old tatami. I worked nights cleaning offices, saved every yen, sent myself through university on scholarships and shame. When people asked about family, I smiled the small Okinawan smile and changed the subject. Mama sent postcards twice a year, always from a new city, always the same handwriting: be good, study hard, I'm proud of you. No return address. At 28 I was a junior architect in Naha, quietly excellent, quietly furious. One March morning an envelope arrived at the office, thick cream paper. My name written in Mama's perfect cursive. Inside was a single key taped to a photograph of a house I'd never seen. Pale yellow walls, red tiled roof, bougainvillea bleeding purple over a gate. On the back in blue ink, "This belongs to you now. I'm sorry for everything. The villa was abandoned long ago. Do what you want with it." Mom. My coworker Hannah peered over my shoulder. "That's in Anna Village. Those properties go for hundreds of millions of yen." She laughed like it was a joke. I didn't laugh. I took the first ferry north with the key cutting into my palm the entire way. The gate was rusted shut. Beyond it the garden had swallowed the path. Lantana and wild ginger grew taller than my head. The house stood quiet, windows blind with salt and sun. Inside, time had stopped in 1998. Calendar still open to September. A child's plastic sandal under the kotatsu. My father's work boots lined up by the genkan like he might walk in any minute. On the kitchen table sat a letter in Mama's handwriting, longer this time. "Hurry. Your father left debts I couldn't pay. The bank was going to take the house we lived in, so I signed this villa over to you the day you were born. A secret trust, your name only. I told you we were homeless so you'd never expect anything from me. So you'd never be hunted by creditors the way we were. I thought distance was mercy. I was wrong. I have cancer. Not much time. The villa is yours free and clear. Sell it, burn it, live in it, I don't deserve a say. I'm sorry I taught you that love means leaving." I slept that night on the dusty floor, key in my fist, listening to the ocean argue with the cliffs. In the morning I called the ward office. The clerk confirmed. The land and house had never been in my parents' names. They had been mine since the day I drew first breath. Mama had not abandoned me to poverty. She had abandoned me to a fortune. The discovery tasted like metal. I walked every room touching walls my father must have painted, opening closets that smelled of mothballs and old money. In the study I found ledgers. Rental income from before the typhoon, quietly moved into an account that bore my name alone. Compound interest had done its patient work. The balance made my knees give out. I could have sold it all that week. Instead I took leave from the office and began the slow resurrection. I hired local carpenters who remembered my father. We replaced shakreen tiles the color of papaya flesh. We coaxed the garden back from jungle to courtyard. Planted mango trees where the old swing once hung. Every nail I hammered myself was a question I no longer needed to ask her. Mama's letters kept coming, thinner now, written from a hospital in Sapporo. She never asked if I'd found the villa. She only wrote, "I'm sorry and I love you and I understand if you hate me." I never answered. 6 months later the villa gleamed again, warm lights in every window. I invited Hannah, my uncle, the aunties from the market. They walked through the rooms whispering numbers too large to say out loud. I poured awamori into small glasses and told them the story. Not all of it, just enough. They cried for the child who slept above engine grease while her name sat on title deeds worth empires. Then I did the cruelest thing I could think of. I sent Mama a single photograph. The house restored, the garden blooming, me standing on the veranda at sunset with the sea behind me like spilled sapphire. On the back I wrote in careful strokes, "You told me we had nothing. Look what nothing became." I did not sign it. I did not need to. 3 weeks later a nurse called from Sapporo. My mother had died holding the photograph. Her last words, the nurse said, were, "She looks happy." I flew north for the funeral. Only 4 people attended. Me, the nurse, a cousin I barely knew, and the man in leather shoes who was long gone from her life. I placed a spray of bougainvillea on the coffin. Purple, like betrayal, like forgiveness. Afterward I walked Sapporo's cold streets until my fingers went numb. I thought of the storage room, the postcards, the years I bowed my head so no one would see me cry. I thought of the villa waiting under southern stars. Doors open, lights burning for a little girl who finally came home. Revenge, I discovered, is not destruction. It is blooming exactly where someone swore you would wither. I still live in the yellow house. Children from the village play in the garden. I teach them to plant seeds in straight rows the way my father once taught me. At night I sit on the veranda and watch the moon slide across the water. Sometimes I speak aloud to the dark. You were wrong, Mama. We were never homeless. You just made sure I had to find the door myself. The wind carries the words out to sea, and the sea, patient, endless, keeps them.